Tom waited in the car for his son to come out of the house. On the weekends he spent with his son, he spent as much time getting ready as any other 5-year-old. In the past, Tom would have helped his son get dressed by looking for socks strewn haphazardly around the bedroom or backpacks hidden behind chairs or in closets. But the house belonged to his ex-wife's new husband, so Tom waited outside. Tom's ex-wife, Randy, had to run after Liam as she tried to get ready to leave. Tom smiled at the thought. She was always stressed under pressure, and when she was stressed, she lost her temper. "Punctuality, please," Randy ordered. "This dinner is important to Hank. He's attracting clients from Asia. This meeting is important to his business." Tom was silent during the phone lecture. For example, he didn't say that he was always on time and that it was Randy, Hank, and Liam who were always late. He also didn't say anything about how he didn't care if the dinner party was important to Hank or not. Hank invited Randy to bed when Randy was still married to Tom. Tom didn't say that Hank wanted to put Randy in his chair because her breasts looked great in a low-cut dress at a dinner party for clients. Neither Tom nor Randy were rich. Randy dreamed of being rich. Tom, on the other hand, was content with a decent salary and a decent house. They met at a work social event, dated for a while, and got married. When they met, Randy was on a diet. She had bad eating habits and would overeat when he was stressed. When she gained weight, she went on a diet with all sorts of miracle remedies and exercised like crazy, sacrificing sleep. She would lose weight for a while, but then gain it back. Her family was prone to being overweight, and they all suffered from high blood pressure, which exacerbated the problem. During her relationship with Tom, Randy gained and lost weight 3 times. Hank seduced her during the periods when she was thin, and she couldn't seem to lose weight for a year and a half. Tom realized that the weight loss should have been a clue that she was cheating on him, but he hadn't noticed. He only found out when Randy told him about the affair. Tom did everything he could to delay the divorce. He didn't try to save the marriage, but he had a good lawyer, a friend of a friend. He fought everything. He even demanded counseling. It made Tom angry. He didn't want to talk to her. But the lawyer calmed him down, explained that Randy didn't want to talk to him any more than he wanted to talk to her, and that he could always drop his demands. After all, Randy wanted to marry Hank, so he was interested in getting this case over with as soon as possible. Tom's attorney filed a motion objecting to everything, set a hearing date, rescheduled it for another day, and filed another motion. After Randy and Hank spent a lot of time and money preparing, when it came time to argue the counseling motion, Tom's attorney withdrew it from the court as promised. Finally, after months of arguing, Randy gave Tom a breakup check and transferred all of their joint assets to him. She even paid Tom's legal fees. Since she didn't have any money of her own, it had to come from Hank. Tom called it a victory. The divorce was finalized just a month ago. Randy and Hank got married shortly thereafter. Tom kept Liam while the happy couple went on their honeymoon. And now the time has come. This is revenge for the last time, and it's the revenge no one wants. The door swung open, and Liam ran down the stairs. He didn't understand why he had to live in 2 houses, but he was starting to get used to it. Tom put Liam in the car seat and gave him a tablet with a movie on it. He walked up to the house. He knocked on the door. After a few minutes, Randy grumpily opened the door. "What?" She had put on her earrings, styled her hair perfectly, texted her new husband with the news, and was about to walk out the front door in a little black dress and stiletto shoes. "Gotta share a story with you," Tom announced with a smile. Randy always complained that his stories were long and boring, but Tom raised his hand. "It's about the lottery." That stopped her. Despite herself, she was interested. Randy dreamed of winning the lottery, especially the giant ball. Recently, the amount won had exceeded $2 billion, making it one of the largest in history, and the winning ticket had been sold in her neighborhood. The story made the news, but no one wanted to claim the prize. One intrepid reporter even reviewed surveillance footage from the store where the tickets were sold, but was never able to find out who bought them. Unfortunately, the time for claiming the prize had already passed, so it was simply returned to the prize pool. A few weeks later, someone won $2.2 billion. Randy waited for Tom to tell his story, but instead of talking, he held out the ticket. Randy blinked and looked at him. She was too vain to admit she needed glasses. "This is the winning ticket," he said. "It's the $2 billion lottery ticket we talked about when we broke up." He held out the ticket to her. A look of surprise appeared on Randy's face. Or it used to be. It had already expired. Randy looked shocked and frantically ran her thumb over the phone. She looked at the phone, then at the ticket, and finally raised her eyes to Tom's face. Her expression changed from shock to anger, from fear to unhappiness, and it was starting all over again. Tom held out the ticket. The veins on her temples pulsed visibly. "I bought it just before the divorce papers were served. It was part of the settlement agreement. Sure, it was a lump sum, tax-free, and my share was in the hundreds of millions. But here's the thing. I couldn't let that happen. That's the point. I ran away from the big money, and I did it out of spite. That's how much I hate you. Have a nice evening with Hank." Randy didn't say a word, but her jaw went up and down, her neck tensed, and she clung to the railing of the door. Tom turned and walked back to the car. He thought Randy would run after him screaming, but nothing happened. Tom drove off with Liam. Sunday afternoon, Randy's father called Tom. One of the unwritten rules of the divorce stated that Hank was not to contact or approach Tom under any circumstances. The reason for the call was that she had suffered a massive stroke on Friday night as Randy was preparing to leave. Hank only learned of her condition after he returned from a dinner party that Randy had not attended. When she was taken to the medical center, she was in terrible condition, paralyzed on one side, blind, and unable to speak. Randy's father asked Tom to keep Liam with him for a while until she could get the treatment she needed and get back to normal. Now Hank would have to spend a lot of time caring for Randy. Tom agreed to keep Liam, and on Monday asked his attorney to draw up the papers for temporary guardianship. Hank didn't object, and neither did Randy. That night, before falling asleep with a wide smile on his face, Tom took one last look at his lottery ticket and marveled at how much more he could do in the world with a good Photoshop and a reputation for honesty. Subscribe to our channel to keep your partner from cheating on you, and listen to the next story because this story is nothing compared to the next.